Welcome back to The Explainer. So, did you know your brain actually processes images something like 60,000 times faster than text? Yeah, it's wild. And honestly, that's exactly why these massive, complex ideas are often best understood through one single really powerful visual. Today we're diving deep, and I mean really deep, into a seriously striking piece of digital artwork. It's a cinematic thumbnail called The Phoenix Rising from the Dollar's Ruin. What we're going to do is deconstruct the intense visual metaphors this artist uses to make a, frankly, profound statement about global finance. Now, to be clear, our goal today isn't to take a side or validate the economics behind the art. We're just looking at exactly how visual storytelling works at this hyper-realistic level to shape how we view the world. All right, let's jump right into this.
You know, trying to hook an audience in today's fast-paced digital world requires immediate impact. And man, the artist does not pull any punches here. Right at the top of the frame in these thick, bold, white block letters, it just says, "The dollar is dying." Boom! There is absolutely zero ambiguity there. Before you even have a split second to process the complex, fiery imagery underneath, the artist has already planted their thesis firmly in your mind. I mean, it's a total masterclass in setting up a narrative anchor. It frames literally everything else we're about to look at, and it immediately sets this tone of absolute urgency and, well, dramatic finality.
So how exactly is that massive claim visually represented? Well, look right at the center of the piece. We've got this giant US $100 bill, but it's not just torn paper, right? Actually, the artist depicts it cracking apart like ancient stone. It's such a brilliant metaphor. They're treating the currency not as paper, but as this crumbling monument, like an empire fracturing under its own weight. It really shows that this isn't just a passing phase. It's framed as an epical shift, a total paradigm change. And right through those heavy stone cracks, you can see this glowing golden light bleeding through. It's totally hinting that this destruction is just making way for something immensely powerful waiting right behind it.
Okay, taking a step back for a second to look at the broader composition, the whole artwork actually relies on this really stark spatial divide. So on the left side, we have the remnants of the old guard. The dollar is portrayed as faded, dusty, and just actively crumbling. It feels exhausted, totally devoid of life. But then, juxtaposed directly against that decay, over on the right side is a rising phoenix emerging from that glowing light. It's the classic mythological symbol of rebirth from the ashes, sure, but here it's applied directly to modern economics. The artist is literally compelling our eyes to move from left to right. We're reading the image from the death of the old system straight into the explosive birth of a brand new one.
But hey, a phoenix in a financial metaphor can't just be made of feathers, right? That would make sense. So the absolutely crucial detail here is how the artist constructs this creature. If you look closely at what the phoenix is actually made of, it's composed of very specific financial symbols. First up, we've got gold coins. Next, we see Bitcoin symbols mixed in. And finally, Yuan notes are literally woven into the creature. By itemizing these specific elements, the historical, tangible safety of gold, the decentralized digital promise of Bitcoin, and the sheer geopolitical scale of the fiat yuan, the artist is explicitly outlining a coalition of challengers to the dollar. It's this wild, fascinating visual synthesis where the past, the future, and the present all unite into one unstoppable force.
Now, to really understand why this image grabs our attention so intensely, we've got to talk about the aesthetic choices. I mean, this isn't some cartoon or a quick sketch. It's executed with this hyper-realistic, completely cinematic quality. The artist uses a deep black background, which, think about it, completely isolates the crumbling dollar and the rising phoenix. It strips away any surrounding context, so you are forced to confront the metaphor. Plus, the whole scene is just drenched in dramatic red and gold lighting. And think about the psychology of those colors for a second. The red amplifies the urgency, the danger, and the destruction of the old bill. Meanwhile, the gold casts this halo of wealth, opportunity, and power over the emerging phoenix. Even without endorsing the underlying economic premise at all, we can absolutely appreciate how these specific lighting and rendering choices give the narrative such immense visual weight.
At the end of the day, we process complex ideas primarily through the stories we're told and the images we see. Which really brings us to a final thought here. Just look at the sheer psychological impact of this meticulously crafted artwork. How does hyper-realistic cinematic imagery shape our understanding of modern economics? Like, when the economy is depicted not as boring charts and line graphs, but as crumbling stone monuments and glowing mythological creatures, does it change how we feel about global finance? It certainly makes the whole conversation a whole lot more dramatic, doesn't it? So, keep questioning the imagery around you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next Explainer.